Hey, what's good, everybody? Happy Wednesday already. God, the week is going by quick. Okay, so a little housekeeping in here to get started. What are we going to do? Housekeeping. Our podcast, actually, if you've been watching or if you've been listening to our podcast there, we call it The Doe Show on iTunes and Spreaker. If you're an Android person, they tell me it's on Spreaker. So on there. Yesterday we did Sad But True, just kind of a fun segment where I read off two stories. One of them's completely made up. The other one is unfortunately sad but true. They always have to do with money or things that maybe have to do with public companies, CEOs. We've done some really interesting ones, and I'll give you a heads up. Yesterday I did so good creating a fake story that my brother, who actually tries to guess the what happened, he guessed it wrong. So he actually got one wrong. Very, very interesting on our podcast. We did that, and we did some war toys, new war sort of weapons that are coming out. Some really, really interesting things there. So be sure to check that out. That's all I have for housekeeping today. If you're a client of Jazz Wealth, this is what we do for you. We come in here, we talk about the stock market, how things perform, what you should expect. Should you be worried? Should you be excited to invest more or not? Should you run for the hills? That's what we do for you here. If you're not a client of Jazz Wealth, maybe just check us out, jazzwealth.com. We help you with your investments and everything that has to do with your personal finances. And 2 weeks from now, we're actually going to start doing live classes. For those of you that are not clients, or if you do want to join in and you're one of our clients, we're going to do live classes. I'm going to be teaching about investing. I'm going to teach you about long-term, short-term investing, how money works. You name it, we're going to cover it in those classes. So stay tuned. We'll have a sign-up form or something if you're interested. So we're just putting the pieces together on that. Carolyn, she's getting it ready for us here in the office. So we'll get that started. Let's talk about the markets. That's what we're here for today. The news yesterday, or late yesterday, about 6 o'clock Eastern time, it came out that Gary Cohen was going to resign. He's the chief economic advisor for Donald Trump. Big deal. See you later. If you don't want to be a part of whatever they're cooking up there, he's good to go. He's out the door. Not yet. I think he's got a resignation day set for in the future, but who cares, right? If you have to guess, if you want to play a fun game with me and maybe leave a comment down below, who do you think is going to take over as the chief economic advisor? If you follow that sort of thing, I've got a guess. I got a sort of oddball guess, but it sort of feels like this is the guy that's going to take over. I'll put it down as my guess, Larry Kudlow. I know he's like a TV personality, but he's a bright guy. I know he's been whispering there in the White House. I think Kudlow from CNBC could be the guy that takes over. We'll see. Other than that, that's what started the markets lower. But I want to show you on the charts real quick how this all worked, because what we have here is the S&P. We'll do the S&P 500. Today, if you're watching for the first time, every one of these little blips on the screen is just the 1 day's performance. What happened today? So the very last one here is today. It was the market was basically positive on the day. It didn't quite get back there, but it recovered from all of its lows. Where you really need to go is down to a minute-by-minute time period. And I'm not going to go deep into this. I know some of you guys aren't really traders. You don't really care. But right here, this is the start of the day right here. So the market started by just going all the way down here, just opened lower. It's called a gap down if you like that sort of thing. But basically it chopped around, waited for more news on tariffs, and then the rest of the day it started rallying all the way back to where it should have started in the first place. So really the idea of what happened today was more of a strength, more of a supporting type environment. Now, you guys know, why did the stock market not go positive? The Dow was lower by 80. The S&P was only down 1. We're looking at it now. It almost got everything back. But you guys can tell me, those of you that are watching, you know exactly why the markets did not go positive today, in particular the S&P. And that's because the banking stocks were not positive. They were dragging today. They were holding things back. But the semiconductor stocks were positive by 0.5%. I always say this in the room here. If you need the S&P 500 to go higher, thank you for that. You guys can't see the charts. Thanks. So if you need the S&P 500 higher and you just want to know, is the market going to be higher or lower today? You don't have to guess. If you take a look at what's inside the S&P 500, it is banks, which I'll show again, the banking stocks. Today, not bad, kind of flat. They did recover a little bit, but no real strength in the bank. But you also need the tech stocks, or more importantly, semiconductor stocks at the moment. So those were very strong, up about 0.5% today. So whenever there's that tug of war between the banks and the semiconductor stocks, you need not look any further. You could just go, okay, the market's not going to do anything today. There is no news that's going to push us higher. What can happen is maybe the financials kick in at the last minute, you know, things like that. But today, when you're looking at the market, you go, why was the S&P only down 1? Well, there was a disconnect there, so we don't have to dig in any further. Tech stocks, as we've said, have been strong. The Nasdaq, that's why you saw that one up 24 today. It was positive on the day. It continues to be one of the stronger market indices. However, I'm going to point out the Russell 2000 real quick, and the futures still aren't updating. So let's look at the Russell 2000. You can use any ETF for this. This one has sort of been sneaking by without the media paying much attention to it. Kind of like the Russian spy guy for the European agency that was just like, he's like almost dead. The nerve agent guy, they like secretly snuck in there and almost killed him. So the Russell 2000 is just like that. The media probably won't focus much on this, but it's sneaking about. It's pushing higher. Look, 4 straight days in a row, the Russell 2000 doing pretty good. So looking good there. Those are the market indices. Now, digging deeper into your investments further and further down the road, your underperformers for the day, commodity-related products. Commodities took a bit of a hit today, mainly oil, down about 2%. This is the actual price of oil here. So oil was down by 2%, and gold. Gold actually was down too. I didn't check silver, but oil and gold are typically what I focus on there. So not too bad. Anything that you have commodity related, energy related, oil related, gold, all going to be taking a bit of a hit today. Not a big deal, I don't think, in the long term. REITs, this is one we've been talking about a little bit. I know a lot of you guys like the real estate investment trust and have some of that. We do have a real estate investment trust ETF in our different levels of portfolios. Not a lot. They are making a little bit of a comeback here in the short term. I don't read into that anything. I don't think there's anything to really get excited about there. So we'll see going forward. What else do I have for you as far as market sectors? That is it. Healthcare, you're seeing on the screen here at the moment. Just a good day for healthcare. Nothing really exciting there. One good day doesn't help anybody. Here's the gold miners down on the day. Oil ETFs down on the day. Retail actually taking the day off. We'll get to that in a second. But retail continues to be the strongest sector in the market, believe it or not. If you have retail exposure, that should be doing pretty good. Commodities down. Yeah, we're done here. So that's pretty much that. Let's go over to individual stocks real quick, and then I'm going to actually stay around here and see if you guys have any questions. I see there are some coming up. We'll do that. CVS in the news. CVS, the drugstore, is buying Aetna. So they're buying Aetna, and this is one of those tales where the shark is trying to eat the shark of the same size, and they're having a problem, right? It's like, how do you buy a company that's worth almost exactly the same amount as you? You don't have enough money. So CVS said, well, we're going to go offer bonds. $40 billion worth of bonds we're going to offer to the market, and we're going to do it now. We don't need the money until the future, but we're going to do it now because we're scared of those interest rates going up. So they actually offered them today, and the appetite, or the sort of the demand for these bonds, was off the charts, man. Investors came from all over to buy these bonds, which show that people are still interested in the corporate bonds. Remember, those aren't guaranteed. Those are not as conservative as some people think. So smart, brilliant play on CVS here. The plan that they had to do the bonds early, save the money until they need it so they could pay the lower interest rate to the investors. I thought that was pretty smart. And there were obviously plenty of investors to do that. Weight Watchers, hey, it finished up on the day. Weight Watchers is up over 4.5%. Miss Oprah Winfrey, who owns 10% of the company and sits on the board, she sold off some of her shares. This was already known that she was going to do this, so it's no surprise, but she did release a statement that said, hey, look, I'm going to give some of this to my charity, and I don't plan on selling any more shares going forward. What's funny is if you look at a chart, see how it's down over the last 5 days? You think that's Oprah's shares? Like, she had so many shares, she was just selling. Like, that's the impact she had on that? I don't know for sure. That's the many millions of shares. I don't think she sold that much, but interesting to see how Oprah pretty much dominates this company. She could control what happens with this company. And so far, she's done really well. The company itself has done amazing. Let's go to Dollar Tree real quick and wrap this thing up. Dollar Tree was down 15% today. Earnings weren't actually that bad. It wasn't that they reported a big miss on earnings, which I was kind of hoping for. It's just that they guided forward. They said, look, it's going to be challenging going forward. We like this. We like when the discount retailers say that they're in a little bit of trouble or they're not going to sell as much, because if the economy is really doing that good, what are y'all shopping at the Dollar Tree for, right? You shouldn't be going over to the Dollar Tree if you have enough money, you've got a good job, you're feeling good about your job. So I actually like the Dollar Trees a little bit lower, which takes me over to Ross stores. We don't want this one to do well either. 6.3%. I was thinking of something else. Discount retailer like TJ Maxx. So these names suffering a bit of a sell-off today, that's a good sign, right? It's not good if you own only that stock, of course, but who owns only Ross stores unless you're like the CEO? So not a big deal. All of those stocks were down, and we are now working our way out of the retail earnings season. A few more to go. We're not done yet, but that bulk that we saw last week and that sort of spillover into this week, we're basically about done there. So that is about it. I'm going to take a look now. Some of the questions you have. Keep in mind, I can't do anything too specific here. KEM, semiconductor stocks like KEM. I've actually, if I'm perfectly honest with you, I have never ever looked at this stock in my life. Had you told me this was a symbol, I would say, I just don't know. I've never seen it. Trades about 1 million shares on a good day, about 700,000 on an off day, maybe a little bit less. Doesn't really fit our wheelhouse, not something that I would look at. If that is a semiconductor stock, I would be concerned. Why is it not participating, right? If semiconductors are doing so well, what's going on here? So I'm not sure about that one. Question on life insurance, whole life or term life insurance. What's the difference? What would be a good provider to look at? Never whole life insurance. There is almost no reason that you need whole life insurance, despite the many beautiful glossy paperback guidelines and sort of booklets that they give you. There is almost no need. If you feel that you need some sort of life insurance or want to leave that off to somebody, term life insurance will be about 1/10, if not 1/20th, the cost of whole life insurance. So be sure to do your research. I am not an insurance agent, so I have nothing to gain or lose from that. Ripple says, I like one healthcare company, specifically it's CNC. Right now they're going through a small correction. CNC, good old CNC. So I have not looked at this one in a long time. Yeah, a little bit cautious there, but healthcare, you could say this is an outperformer. Here's healthcare. It has not recovered. CNC is not doing too bad. This reminds me of, and I'm going to put the chart back up. This reminds me of some of the tech stocks where they just didn't really sell off. They held up. Yeah, they did suffer a pullback, but they held up. So not bad. Not bad, not bad. If tariffs do get enacted, do you think this will create a bear market? The ruling on that is supposed to be tomorrow. No, is today Wednesday? Yeah. Tomorrow at noon, possibly Friday at noon. They're going to probably stall on this one a little bit because Canada's calling. I don't know if it's out yet, but Canada's calling. Mexico's knocking on the door going, hey, buddy, put tariffs on everybody else. Leave us out of the picture. So chances are we're going to leave Canada out. We're going to leave Mexico out. And maybe Sweden, if that even matters. I don't know why I just said Sweden. Poland, was I thinking? Some other small country, they're going to be exempted as well. No, absolutely not. Do I think it'll create a bear market? Zip. There is a 0 chance, in my opinion, that that will happen. Why? Why would that even happen? There's not going to be a trade war either, by the way, so don't let the media scare you on that. Is there such a thing as a free stock trading app for Android? Ruben, I don't know if it's trading so much, but Acorns, it is not bad. The company that we use Folio for our brokerage firm, for our clients. Now, we're on a different schedule than them, but if you look at them on the retail side, they have, it's called Folio Investing. They have where you could just pay like 20 bucks a month, trade as much as you like. And then there's Robinhood. There's some limitations there on Robinhood, but I've heard some good things about that one. So I'm not afraid to say if I see something that's good and people seem to talk highly about it, I'll suggest it to you. Oh, thanks, Austin. Yeah, Austin's pointing that out too. AMD and its correlation to crypto. All these names. AMD, Nvidia, except Nvidia seems to be stealing the show with crypto. Of course, that's why it's doing really well. Square, how's that one doing? Square's at new highs. These guys are starting to focus on that. I think these guys will have some news coming out where they'll be one of the first to sort of offer that real exchange for products. Cryptocurrencies are nonsense as far as it comes to investing. If you are investing in this, you don't know what you're investing in. So I'm absolutely against the idea of most people investing in cryptocurrency. Now, the idea of using it as a currency, 100% on board. I love that idea. And it seems that Square might be the first to sort of be the processor. So I could go and I could buy a bag of candy and I could use crypto of any choice that I want to buy the bag of candy. That's pretty smart. So that's where I think the real excitement begins. We're not there yet. Everybody's betting on Square to be the ones to do it. So we'll see. AMD, I'm a little shocked AMD is not doing a little bit better with the rest of the semiconductors, but I know they're going through some stuff there, and MU is sort of just dominating. Okay. I think that's all I have for you guys today. I'm going to wrap it up there. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is really just meant to save me time so that I can sort of, instead of record it and upload it and tag it all and stuff, just be able to post it in one shot. I love that you guys are here and asking questions. That's cool too. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening. If you're a client of Jazz Wealth, all is good. There's your update. If you're not, give us a chance. Take a look, see what you think. If you have any questions, you want to talk to me directly, we could pick a time on our website, click Chat with Jazz on the website, and we'll talk to you then.